will be used to help you on your Unit 7 test. So the first couple questions you'll have will be all about angles and the angles formed by that transversal line. So we already kind of talked about this. Anywhere there's a star, it's going to be equal to a star. So we're going to take a line and one of the parallel lines, and we're going to put it on top of the parallel line. So in other words, if we took this parallel line right here and moved it on this parallel line, everything is going to line up exactly. This star right here would move to where that star is. This circle would move to that circle. They're going to be exactly the same. So we're going to write down our formulas that we need. So if we move the one line on top of the other and the angles end up vertical, and if you want to draw a picture of these, you can. So vertical means when we trace our angles, they're not touching, or corresponding, so in the same spot. You're only going to trace one angle. It's like when you move it, they're going to be in the same spot. Our formula is going to be angle 1 is equal to angle 2. So you're going to set the angles equal to each other. If you move them and they end up next to each other, which is going to be supplementary, and I'm going to put right here next to each other. So if they move and they end up, so they form that half circle there, it's going to be angle 1 plus angle 2. And if you do not know that this sign means the angle, write the word out so that when you get to your test, you're not going, I don't know what that means, Mrs. Walker. Equals 180. So remember, supplementary means that when we do it, it would be like this angle and this angle. So we still have that 180 degrees. Now, you should be able to tell the difference between this one here. Interior means all the angles are inside. This one here is going to have something sticking out. That's why it's called exterior, okay? So interior, we're going to take angle 1. We're going to add it to angle 2. We're going to add angle 3 to that. Set the whole thing equal to 180. And we're going to solve. So I'm just going to call this angle 1. I'll call this angle 2. I'll call this angle 3. Remember, this means 90 degrees right here. So I would take angle 1, which I labeled as 5x plus 5, plus angle 2, which was 90, plus angle 3, which was 3x plus 5, set equal to 180. Then I can combine all my like terms. So 5x's and 3x's are going to give me 8x. And then I have 5, 90, and 5. So that's going to give me plus 100 equals 180. Then I need to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 100 from both sides. That's going to zero this out, leaving me with 8 x's equaling 80. So that means my x would equal 8. Just kidding, it would equal 10. 28's going on there. Now, if it asks me for a specific angle, remember I've taught you, put your finger on it and trace it. Wherever it turns is the angle that you're going to look for. So like if this said angle BAC, we would start at B, go to A, and go to C. Since it turned on A, we would replace this x with that x and solve it. All right, now the difference again, if you have an exterior angle, we're going to have a remote angle 1 and a remote angle 2. And then this one here, this outside one, is my exterior angle. This formula states you're going to take remote angle 1, add it to remote angle 2. And remember, our remote angles do not touch our exterior angle. Set it equal to your exterior angle and solve. So my remote 1 I labeled as 6x. I'm going to add that to my remote angle 2, which was 15x minus 12. I'm going to set that equal to, make sure, 19x plus 2. I'm going to combine like terms. So on this side I have 21x minus 12. And on this side, I have 19x plus 2. Move your x's to one side. So I'm going to subtract 19x from here and move it to this side so that I keep it balanced. And then I like to do this one step. Since I moved my x's from this side to this side, I need to move these numbers to this side. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both, add 12, because this was subtract, so to undo it, I'm going to add 12. And that's going to zero that out. So you can see I've zeroed out. So the only thing left on this side are my x's. The only thing on this side right here are my numbers. So I'm left with 2x equals 14. And so x would equal 7. And again, depending on if I asked angle MLN, you're going to trace starting at M, go to L, go to N. So that means I turned on this angle. I want what that angle is right there. All right. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is what you did today, which was similar triangles. To be similar triangles, you need two pairs of corresponding angles in a pair of triangles must be the same. In other words, when you set it up, you're going to have two triangles. Let me get a new page here just so that we can see. So when you set it up, you could say like triangle 1 has angles 20, 30, and 40. Triangle 2 might have angle 20 and maybe it has angle 40. What would it need? What would it need in order for it to be similar? Well, we already have 20 and 40 the same, so that's good, but we know the other angle would also have to be 30. So you're looking for one that has all three angles that are going to be the same, because as soon as two are the same, the third one's automatically the same.